What up, y'all?
Hello. Welcome to
Hi.
another episode of Tinsel Town Tea. We're on episode
Yes.
84 now. Oh my gosh.
Child.
Woo! We
Woo.
have an amazing episode for y'all. We're going to be interviewing a super talented, multi-hyphenate Black creative named Alysha Menakaya. So stay tuned for that in the main segment. But
Don't want to
like
miss
we
it.
always say, Tinsel Town Tea, we are just some Black female writers. And we want to teach y'all about screenwriting, about the industry from Black female perspective. I mean, shit.
That's right.
I don't know how to say it. Shit.
Period. Come on the journey with us because we're on our way to that writer's room, honey. We're going to be creating, and we know y'all are going to be creating with us. So all we want to do is share and really celebrate those Black and brown creatives that are already doing it. Y'all already know what we're about. Y'all already know what we do.
Exactly. Don't act brand new.
Okay. And with that, we're going to get started with our Would You Rather. Y'all know I be getting really super creative with these.
Yeah, she's so good at these. I just copy and paste mine from the internet, but Judith B, she's on it, okay?
It is so silly. But yeah, so this one I think will be fun. I don't know why. Maybe I was in a violent mood. I don't know why, but...
Did you wake up and choose violence today?
I did. I chose violence.
And did you wake up and choose violence, girl?
And this is how it's gonna come out. So you have one punch and it lands. I want to make sure it lands.
Ooh, okay, connect. Okay, love that.
One punch. Okay. Would you rather punch Donald Trump or the worst ex you ever had? And I'm gonna add something else behind that. You get to choose where to punch this person. So
got it. Of course, Trump. There's really no one that can be worse than Trump at this point.
Truly.
None of these niggas are worse than Trump. So
truly.
I only date niggas, so none of these niggas are worse than Trump. So yeah, he's getting punched and it's going somewhere where it can be on the internets. So I don't know where it's gonna be, but as long as it's on the internets afterwards. So it has to be in an open place where I just want it to be on Beyonce's internet. So
you're like, and are you punching? Okay, anywhere. Okay, cool. Anywhere hurts. I get that. That's great. I love that you're like, no. This must be posted. This must go viral. Everyone must see.
I don't care where I punch it, like what part of his body. I don't care where it's at, as long as it's on Beyonce's internet somewhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere, actually.
Yeah.
What about you, girl?
Awesome. No, I'm with you. I'm punching Trump dead in his face. If it's connecting, I want it in that eyeball. So he walk around with that big ass knot on his fucking eye, bruised up and everything.
Looking at everything as he usually does.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Now I know I rebuke it, but he'll probably sue the shit out of me. But I think it will be worth it. It's like, you know what? This is how I'm gonna be known on the internet as the woman who punched Trump dead in his face. Like, honestly, anyone is like national hero, honestly.
Facts. And he's not the president no more. So the Secret Service can't come for us for saying this. So
well, I think they still can come.
They can't come for me. I'm be like, not
you.
They can't come.
They're not coming for me.
Can't nobody come for me. Who gonna check me, boo?
Who gonna check me, boo?
Secret Service gonna be like us. No, bitch. Okay, I'm from Florida. Try me. I'm from Florida.
Gang is what Cory said. Okay.
Not throwing up gang signs. I'm just doing it.
But yeah, we just, y'all know what we mean.
Yeah, I don't know.
Y'all know what we mean.
Ooh, child. That was a great would you rather. Keep them coming. At this point, Judith might as well come up with all the would you rathers. Mine are lame. Mine are just lame compared to her. They're copy and pasted from the internet. So I think Judith she will be the creative voice behind all the would you rathers from now on. She's so creative. I stan. Okay.
Appreciate you.
Woo! All right. So moving into our Know Better, Do Better, which is where we give you a tip, a trick, lesson learned, either about screenwriting or the industry or whatever the fuck we want to talk about. It could be life. Shit. I mean, like I said, who gonna check us? So mine is network. work.
Well,
okay. You literally cannot get any. Well, should I say that? No, I think it's safe to say that you can't really get anywhere that you want without collaborating with people.
I think you're right.
Anybody that you admire in this industry or in any other industry did not get there by themselves, no matter how, even if they say that they did, they are lying. Okay. You have to collaborate, which means that you have to network with people. Because how are you going to find the people to collaborate with if you are not networking and talking to people, getting to know people, putting yourself out there? I know a lot of times in LA, especially in this industry, the entertainment industry, whether that's film, TV, music, whatever, it's a lot of schmoozing and ass kissing going on. I don't recommend that type of networking. I'm a real bitch. I'm going to keep it real.
That's
at all times. I believe in being authentic with your networking.
That's right.
Actually, and that means not just like, I don't know how to say it. That doesn't mean just like seeking someone out because of their status or what they can do for you.
Right.
Seeking them out because you genuinely want to learn from them and you want to also add value to their life in some way. So
100%.
That to me is authentic networking and actually just trying to build real relationships, not just trying to use people because ew, like who the fuck you think you are trying to use somebody? Like
trash.
No, like so I know with writers especially it can be difficult to to network, to put yourself out there, to talk to folks. Even myself, people think I'm so extroverted, but bitch, I am not. This is all an act. I mean, it's not an act. I have a big personality, which helps. But I never thought of myself as extroverted. People just see me as that, but they're not discerning between my big personality, if that makes sense. So it is very hard for me. I do have social anxiety to get out there and talk to people. We do interviews on the show and I get nervous before interviews because I'm like, oh my God, I have to talk to someone for an hour. But you know, it's just a matter of getting over that fear. You are never going to get anywhere if you are living in a pool of fear. Okay. You have to hop out that thing. Okay. Dry yourself
come on
up
out
and come on.
Come on out. Come on.
Because you're literally never going to get anywhere if you're sitting behind fear. So, as scary as it may seem, just be yourself. Sometimes people know that writers are awkward. It's okay. It is fine. Just,
big facts.
Yeah. Be yourself when it comes to networking and just try to get over the fear and realize that what's the worst that somebody can say to you when you're networking? They can tell you what? Leave me alone. Okay, bitch. Okay. Okay. I'll look at them, walk a flock of meme. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, all right, that's fine. Like you're not gonna burst into flames. You're not going to, nothing crazy is gonna happen. So so those are my networking tips is just don't be afraid to put yourself out there. I know it's easier said than done, but push yourself out of your comfort zone when it comes to networking and be an authentic person, which really comes down to being yourself. If you're doing something if you're doing something in the name of networking and it doesn't feel right, then that means it's not right. If you feel in your gut like this doesn't feel me, like you feel like you're being fake, then you're probably being fake. So always listen to your gut and just be real. That's what I got to say about networking for sure.
Amen.
Those people tend to get far versus the people who are fake as fucking phony and just using folks.
Yep. No, you're right. And also like your reputation will, I mean, anywhere you go, like your reputation will precede you. So if you treat people like shit and you're like, oh, like you're just a janitor or whatever, you don't have your movie yet. You never know where people are the next day, tomorrow, in a couple of years, who you talk to crazy. And then when it's your turn to, have a favor or want to find people to work with, they remember how you treat them. So absolutely. Authentic networking is a word from Cory that she blessed y'all with. Write it down. And it's just like what you were saying, I learned I'm afraid all the time. And sometimes you just have to do it through the fear. You just have to do it while afraid. Like
there's literally no other way. I wish there was a cheat sheet. Maybe take a shot or something. I don't know.
Right. I don't know.
Maybe that's the workaround to get over the nerves of the fear is to take a shot.
Okay, if you're in a state where weed is legal, go ahead and consume some. And
there you go.
Listen, even if it's not, child, do what you got to do
to just calm yourself and get through the fear.
Yourself. Yeah. So no, great advice. Don't be afraid to network, but make sure it's authentic networking. Y'all already know. Go off, Cory. Truly. All right. Next in our show, you guys know we do the news, and all of our segments come from Shadow One Act, which is a publication, a Black and brown publication that focuses on creators who are Black, brown in the industry doing big things, whether it's directing, acting, writing, costume design, whatever, they follow it. So we usually get the news from there. Like we always say, make sure you read all the things, but make sure you're also reading publications that focus on the community, because it's important that we keep up and it's important that we support one another. So stay on top of that. All right. So we got news from the Marvel girls. So Marvel's Blade, starring the sexy, the ever so fine Mahershala Ali, finally finds its director. So shout out to Mahershala Ali. I think that's great casting, by the way. Perfect. To be Blade. Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I love Wesley Snipes as Blade, but if I were to choose anybody but Wesley Snipes, it would have been him. So yeah, perfect.
I mean, and great choice. So according to this article, and this is written by Monique Jones, at long last, Marvel has released a Blade update. And it's this time they found the film's director. So we already know that Mahershala will be starring in it. But they tapped into the dark side of Marvel. They have Mogul Mowgli director Bassem Tariq has been tapped to direct Mahershala Ali as he dives into the dark side of Marvel. So this was according to Deadline. The decision to hire Tariq comes from an arduous months-long search. Tariq becomes the fourth director of color to work on a Marvel film. I believe one of the other directors of color was Ryan Coogler of Black Panther, just so y'all know. Backing up Feig's insistence on diversifying the MCU in front of and behind the scenes in the Phase 4 and beyond. So the report also says that Marvel's Kevin Feige and Marvel brass have met with dozens of candidates since fall 2020 and brainstormed the possibility of who's going to basically take the helm of the writer-director position. So, as you know, due to Marvel hiring Stacey Osu Kofor, Marvel was set on having a writer and director team as opposed to having one person take care of everything. That's great. So it came down, of course, to Tariq. Congratulations to him. I'm so glad. I think he is of Indian descent, so representing for the Indian community out there. Love to see it. Black and brown people of all shades and walks of ethnicity. I'm excited for this. Again, they've already they've already tapped one best casting decisions with Mahershala Ali. I think if they had enough discernment to choose him, I believe that Tariq is going to make this look amazing. They already say here that the character Blade was recently hinted at in a Disney Plus Marvel series, Loki. And if you haven't been watching Loki, go back and check it out. And, you know, Owen Wilson's character complains to Google Batham Ross' character to keep Loki on track of the variants and stuff. So, you know, look out some of those little, I forget what they, like gems or what are those things they leave in movies? Like,
I don't even know what those things are called. They have, I think they have a specific name for them.
I think it's Easter eggs.
There's a specific name for them in the Marvel universe that they name those shits when they are. I don't know.
And listen, I'm not of the Marvel world. I just jumped on with Black Panther and I just happened to like Loki. So all the Marvel girls, y'all know all the storylines and all the Easter eggs, honey. But listen, I'm very glad that Blade will be in whatever storyline y'all craft together. I'm glad that it will have its own movie. And I'm certainly glad that Mahershala Ali is going to star. And my man, Bassem Tariq will direct. Congratulations to you.
Yes, congrats.
So well done. That is no small feat, honey.
No,
all right. Speaking of fine, chocolatey men, my God. Jonathan, okay. Jonathan Majors was actually cast in Loki before Ant-Man 3 and got the latter role because of the former. Oh, come on with these headlines.
Plot twist. Plot twist.
Okay. So again, this article was written by Monique Jones of Shadow and Axe. So Jonathan Majors wowed Loki fans. Yes, he did. If you haven't seen it, make sure you find somebody with that account, watch Loki. And in that final episode, baby, when Jonathan Majors came out with Kang, he came out the character Kang, honey. Take me to the Kang, honey, okay?
To the Kang.
Come on. Because he was so
I don't have much to bring.
No. Woo. Yes, Lord. So, yeah, Loki fans, when he showed up as He Who Remains, but while most fans thought Majors turned as He Who Remains came about because of the casting as Kang the Conqueror and Ant-Man and the Wasp, Loki director Kate Herron said the opposite was true. So in an interview about the season finale, Herron said that Majors was cast as Kang because of his role on as He Who Remains, leading the character to be retconned, in Kane into a Kane variant. Wow, that was very complicated. So forgive me if you don't understand that. All I know is this man killed that role, and they were like, "Come on, Ant-Man, just please, like let's continue, let's continue to have him." Okay, so Loki was quickly snapped up for Quantumanium. Okay, so they cast him for the role at the same time. Kate Herron says when he was cast in that, it was because we knew he was going to be in our show first. So Kate wants you to know. Okay, she casted Jonathan Majors first. They had him in Loki. Okay, I know all of y'all thinking, "Oh, Ant-Man, that's where." No, bitch, he was supposed to be in Loki first. Period. Point blank. Okay, put some respect on her name. Okay, she knows what she's talking about. Okay. Now, I really don't think she was as aggressive as I portrayed it to be, but. Listen, Jonathan Majors is an amazing talent. It's clear that how he killed, like if you go back and see it, he killed the role of Kang in Loki. It's an amazing role. We've already seen him kill roles in so many other things. I mean, Lovecraft Country, first black man in San Francisco. I mean, the last black man in San Francisco. Like he has range, he has talent, period. So I'm so glad that he is getting his flowers. I'm so glad that people are like vying to cast him in so many things. It is well deserved. And I don't even give a fuck that much about Ant-Man but since y'all got this beautiful, talented, chocolatey man in there, guess who's going to be watching Ant-Man 3? Me. I will. Same. That's right. And Cory, come on. You gotta get your husband, child. You already claimed him. You already claimed him. And I love that for you.
What's his height, though? I have a height thing, but I'm trying to get over that. We'll figure that out.
Woo, my Lord. Okay.
6 feet. Perfect.
See, perfection. See, look, not you Googling the height. You're so crazy. Okay. Speaking of heights, Into the Heights star.
Okay, segue.
Okay. So Into the Heights star Leslie Grace to lead Batgirl film from Warner Brothers. All right. So this was officially confirmed by Deadline. And she's been cast in the role of Batman. So congrats to her. Warner Brothers and HBO Max's upcoming Batgirl film is looking for its Barbara Gordon and maybe Leslie Grace. But we already learned again that she's gonna be in Batman. And if you don't know her, she's in the musical written by Lin-Manuel Miranda called In the Heights. She stars playing in the play, and she's like the main character. But HBO Max is also looking at they were looking at so many other people. But again, this was an updated article, so if this sounds confusing, forgive me. So yeah, she got the lead. Super excited for her. Though in the even though In the Heights is currently Grace's biggest film role, she's garnered a lot of attention prior to the film of her career. She's appeared in several music videos with Meek Mill. Well, okay. K-pop boy band Super Junior, Karol G, Becky G, and others. Okay. If Grace, she lands, the role will increase. This is clearly going to increase her Hollywood cachet as a leading actress, honey. And it would make her an official part of the DC cinematic universe. See, that's when once you get this superhero money, okay, you are rolling, honey. These characters, they be getting banked. Okay. So Grace, an Afro-Latinx actor, recently spoke about In the Heights colorism controversy, addressing the Root reporter Felice Leon concerns about the film's lack of focus on Afro-Latinx actors, despite Washington Heights being majority Afro-Latinx. So here is what she said. I didn't realize until making this movie that I didn't really get to see myself or people that look like my siblings that are darker than me on screen, she said. I hope that this is cracking the glass ceiling, because I do hope to see my brothers and sisters that are darker than me lead these movies. Okay. So yeah, I appreciate her saying that. There was a lot of controversy in the Heights, not having enough Afro-Latinx representation. Definitely, she was definitely one of the main. When I looked at her, I was like, yeah, she's definitely Afro-Latino. But it was fair. It was definitely some fair criticism of the movie. I saw the movie, was still a great movie, but I think Lin-Manuel Miranda did a great job, of course, of writing it. But of course, he is known for breaking down barriers, particularly when it comes to diversity and what he's done with Hamilton. So I think it was very fair that they got that criticism, and they openly talked about it. You know what I mean?
That someone said something about it.
Yeah, because it's a thing. It is very important, and it's not nothing to be glossed over. But I'm so glad that this has propelled her. That movie In the Heights has propelled her to even get this DC check, as the new Batgirl. So congratulations to her. I will be watching that when it comes out on HBO Max, and yeah, well deserved, well done. So yeah, with that is the news. But you know what? Hold on to your panties, folks, because we got an amazing interview coming up. Cory already plugged her at the top, but when we come back, our interview with Alysha Menakaya.
Yes, exciting. Hey y'all, hello.
Hey.
We are joined by the beautiful Alysha Menakaya.
What's
and
up?
She is here today. We're going to be interviewing her just about her career, things that she's done, in the hopes to inspire other Black and brown creatives to get off their asses and get out there and make some work. Let's leave our marks, okay?
Amen.
All right. So first, we have your bio, but we want you to kind of give us your journey in your own words. Give us a little recap, girl. Whatever you want to say it. Go ahead. Floor's yours.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was that awkward Black girl who grew up in an all-white state, New Hampshire.
Ooh, child.
I know. That's where my mother grew up. She's white. She's from New Hampshire, so she's very familiar with that state. And my father's from Nigeria. And yeah, so I'm half Niger, half white. I'm Igbo. And I'm the oldest of 3 women, so it's always been girl power in my family. And I start with saying that I was the awkward Black girl because that is why I'm in comedy now, and being biracial has also given me this kind of like light into differing values, and once again, it lends itself to comedy. So growing up there was okay, but then I was ready to bust out, and I moved to Boston, which is super diverse. I went to an all-women's college, which is Simmons University, and while I was there, I recognized film and social justice as 2 passions of mine that I had never unlocked before. I'd always been a writer. I actually used writing as a way to escape. It was like, I felt like I had no one to really talk to, so I talked to myself. I wrote poetry, and when I found film, it was like the world had opened up for me. I'd found the medium for my writing, and very early, when I was 19, I knew film was the next step for me. I had this basic communications class that nobody took seriously. And during this class, we had a 5-minute silent film competition. And I was so excited. I busted out of the class with all these ideas. And I ended up getting into like the festival for that class. And I was like, okay, I took video production the next semester, and I was like, I'm done. Like, film is definitely for me. So when I graduated, I said, okay, it's basically either New York or LA. I want to give myself as much opportunity as possible. And I'd been on the East Coast my whole life. I was ready for warm weather.
Yes.
I said, let's
come
go.
on.
Let's
come
go.
on.
There you go.
Snap that up.
Florida girl. Yeah. I know.
I drove my car to LA.
Wow.
From New Hampshire.
Wow.
And you know, I told my sister, I said, I'm gonna be a filmmaker, and I think I'm gonna do comedy. And my sister, she's like the smart one. She's actually in law school right now. She says, I think that's a bad idea because
come on, family.
You're not a good storyteller and you're not funny. And I was like, I'm on my way. Thank you for the blessings, sister.
Cute. Love that.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
7 years later, here we are.
Wow. All right. So that is motivation.
Yeah.
That is definitely motivation.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm glad you are hard-headed enough to believe in yourself, honey.
Thank you.
Yes, because that could have, especially coming from a sister that could have, took a lot of people down. And like, if my sister would have said that to me, I'd be like,
okay. I would have did a U-turn right on Route 66 on back. Like, well, let me give up on all my dreams.
Never mind.
It was hard to hear, but you know, they always tell you in this industry, get ready for rejection.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Most of the industry is rejection at first, especially for people that look like us.
Exactly.
Especially people that look like us. So what would you say, or who would you say are your biggest inspirations in the industry?
I love that question. I'd say, ironically, sadly, Bill Cosby was like an inspiration for me. Grew up watching that show and felt inspired by it. Eddie Murphy was an inspiration. Whoopi Goldberg.
Yes.
EGOT. Come on.
We love us some Whoopi. Okay. That's our girl.
I'm a 90s kid, so I think all the animation from Nickelodeon was really, really cool.
Yeah.
And there's Paramount now is doing all these reboots of old stuff because it's like, that was the shit. That was really good.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely inspired by that.
Yep. Yeah. That's what the people were into, and like, they're not really coming up with anything new that's good. So they got to pull from the archives, right?
Okay.
And reboot some shit and see what happens.
Definitely watched a lot of Disney. Definitely.
Same.
Disney
yes.
I was a huge Disney kid. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's kind of embarrassing. Yeah, I like to say that my personality is a mix of Raven Baxter and somebody else, because I watch too much That's the Raven. So I'm like, I look at my personality now. I'm like, why do I act just like Raven Baxter? Like, this is
when
crazy.
You were a kid, did you think that you had powers at any point? Like,
did I? No, I knew I didn't have any powers, but I was like, I just want to be just like Raven Baxter. And here we are. I'm like, I act too much like her. It's kind of scary. It's a little scary, but it's fine. I was my girl. She was good.
I love the show Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh, yeah. The improv show.
The improv show.
Yeah.
That always got me. And then SNL for a little while, too. Like, yeah. So those were big for me.
Did you like In Living Color?
I actually was not allowed to watch like BET or anything.
Wow.
My father didn't want me to become like a trashy Black American. Unfortunately, a lot of Africans have the same opinion of Black people. So I was really only allowed to watch like Nickelodeon and Disney.
Wow.
Did you watch like Kenan and Kel though?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
That was definitely a good one.
Yeah. All right. So that's interesting to me when you said your parents kind of sheltered you from some of the Black entertainment with the way that it, you know, sort of was portrayed.
Yes.
How was that when you were in college, connecting with things like social justice and really kind of leaning in? How was that journey for you? And I'm wondering how your parents and your sister feel now that you are a full-fledged director, honey.
Yeah.
Okay, talking all about your biracial journey. Like, I want to. How is that for you?
So, I get out of my white state and I enter a diverse world, and that was just everything for me. I felt like I was catching up on everything, and I was recognizing that people's ideas of who I was were directly linked to TV, to films, to music videos in a way that other cultures did not have. Yep. And so and that is very unique to the Black culture, is that these films are really affecting us on a daily basis. Yeah. In a way that it doesn't affect white people, because white people, every aspect of a white person's personality, individualism, every aspect of character and psychology is explored, has been explored. And for Black people, it's so one note. And so it's honestly, like, a lot of Black people in this industry do feel a responsibility to change the script, literally. So that's really how these two things fuse so well together, is social justice and film.
Yeah, I think, you know, there's kind of this conversation, like, you know, do Black creators have a responsibility to talk about, you know, social issues regarding Black people in their work, or can they just make art? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think my kind of stance is we kind of do have responsibility. There's a lot of work to do, and you know, you can't ignore the things that are going on. And I get the whole, I just want to make art. It doesn't have to be about Black this, Black that, but it's the times. We got to reflect the times. Art reflect the times, like, you know, like people say. So that's a good point that you brought up there.
100%.
So kind of getting into the industry, how was your experience? Because I saw that you got an MFA from USC. How was your experience with that? Because there are people because Judith also got, you got a master's in screenwriting. Production, right?
Yeah, screenwriting at Boston University.
Oh,
yep.
We were down the street from one another.
So he said Boston. I was like, okay, you probably saw each other.
Yes.
But not all Black people know each other. But some people, get masters and some people don't. But how would you say that your experience getting a master's like helped you get to the industry or learn more about screenwriting?
USC was huge for me. I said, if I'm gonna go to film school and go into further debt, I want to go to one of the best schools. So I applied to only the best film schools in the country, and I was so lucky to get in like my first try.
Wow.
It was during a time where it was like after Oscars So White, so they were finally letting in some kids of color, and
crazy.
Let me tell you, the professors, the staff were not ready for us. They were not.
They had no idea what they were getting into, child.
No, they did not.
I love to hear it.
A lot of them like to brag about, having Ryan Coogler in their classes, because Ryan Coogler is from my program. But Ryan is actually very open about the fact that he was homeless while he was at USC. Wow. So when they tell me that they were his professor, all I hear was, you were the person that really wasn't like there for them. And that kind of lends itself to how ruthless the program can be. I will say, like, a lot of Black people, when they get into baller opportunities like going to a top film school, they do put themselves aside, and they make the school their entire priority. So that might have also been a part of the problem of Ryan's homelessness.
I definitely
But I will say the program was awesome. Like, I grew so much. I learned a lot. While I was there, I recognized I didn't fully commit to comedy until I was at USC.
So what was it that made you what was that, like, that switch that went off in your head that made you want to fully commit to comedy while you were there?
I was just recognizing the comedic elements in my writing and saying, why don't I just lean all the way into this? And when I did, boom, like doors just opened.
Nice.
And I'm so grateful. I just needed an opportunity to be a mad scientist, make mistakes.
Yeah.
And learn and grow. You can do that outside of school, obviously. But I was able, because my class was diverse, I was able to get a global perspective on why my stuff was shitty or whatever, why it wasn't hitting, you know? So it was great. Yeah.
Wow. That's dope. What was one of your like favorite projects that you worked on at USC and even afterwards too?
My favorite experience at USC was hands down working on the USC sketch comedy show. It's a live show. It's basically USC's version of SNL. We have a live audience, 4 cameras working at the same time.
Wow. Okay.
Come
angles.
On.
Get them angles.
Come on, multicam. Come on.
Yeah, you're directing from like a booth, and you're saying you're saying to your cameras, okay, cue camera 1, okay, okay, cue camera 2, take it, camera 4, take it.
Wow.
Back to camera 1, take it. And it's like all live and you're just trying to go with it. It's an adrenaline rush. And to hear your audience laugh in real time is like, it's everything.
Great,
it's
I know
really
that's
great.
right.
Yeah. So
that's so dope.
That must feel amazing. So getting more into like, you've had a couple of internships and had the chance to have really great internships for people who kind of are like outside of the industry and may not have access to those internships or things like that, or even people who are, have those access to those internships and want to do those. What would you say are some key things that you learned during those internships that helped you grow more in your craft and also just in your profession?
Okay. I would say that every opportunity has another opportunity in it. You may not see it on the outside.
That's a t-shirt.
But
that is a word.
I've had internships that were unpaid that felt paid. Like where they kind of recognize that, okay, you're unpaid, so we're going to like hook you up in other ways. And sometimes those hookups are way better than the money. Like, for example, I was interning with Film Independent to shoot the LA Film Festival, and while I was there, they gave me an all-access pass. So I used that pass to go to after parties and to network and to talk to people, and that is where I met Lena Waithe. And
go off.
I was like, Lena, I will do anything for you. Deadass.
And that is the pitch.
I will do anything. I basically was like, I will do anything for you. She was like, bet, like hit me up on Facebook.
Not bet.
No, she was very casual. She was like, hit me up on Facebook. And I said to myself, I'm never gonna talk to this woman ever again. Like, for sure. I hit her up on Facebook and she actually replied, and she hired me, and I worked for her for like years. Like,
work.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And now she's a superstar. Like, and I did that job years ago for free. I worked for her.
Wow.
And people still like are like, so what was it like to work for Lena? And I was like, wow, like this is crazy.
Yeah, because she's that girl right now.
Period.
Killing the game. Okay.
She's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
We stand her. Yeah.
Honestly.
That's a great opportunity too. Just kind of like putting yourself out there and like taking, like you said, taking the opportunity that you have and spinning it into something else. That's the game of finessing, and that's what we got to do.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Do that.
I would say, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Like,
exactly.
Go to these unpaid internships looking good, because people are gonna, if you take yourself seriously, they're gonna say, okay, like, you clearly wanna be here. Like, you want to be seen. Like, let's make that happen for you.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't have shame a lot of times.
And honestly, you can't have any.
Come on, you gotta shoot your shot. I mean, okay. Like, shoot that shot.
Don't play, and don't be scared either.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Okay.
Is that a lot of writers can be, like this, and I get it. I get it. You know, there's a piece of me that's like that, but you know, you gotta push through to get where you want to be, you know?
Yeah.
'Cause you never know.
I will say, growing up as like the town Negro, I
Sorry, I'm back. Go ahead.
I was like famous by default, and so there was never an opportunity for me to hide because people were always like that, you know, they always had eyes on me. And so I kind of like got used to that, of like always having eyes on me. So you kind of just take that, you walk into a big Hollywood room and you're like, hey, I want to talk to you, you know?
Yeah. That's the worst they can say is no. I'm
exactly.
Like, okay, next person.
Some people know is death. Like some people like rejection is death.
Yeah, they'll literally fall out.
Yeah.
And that's how I used to be. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna pass out. I'm gonna melt. But it's like, bitch, you're fine. Like, you are fine. Chill out.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Oh my
I get
goodness.
that completely.
Yeah, completely understand. So wait, okay. So in the moment, you know, you've worked with Lena. Clearly both of, I mean, maybe before you even knew it, like both of your like careers are kind of parallel, right? You're a writer, she's a writer. You know, I think she's done some directing and you're doing
hasn't she done? What hasn't she done?
Facts.
The resume is long.
Okay. One, what was sort of your biggest lesson from working with her specifically?
Okay.
And then when it comes to writing, directing, do you prefer one over the other? Is it like a mutual love? Like, how do you feel about that?
Good question.
The biggest thing that I learned from Lena was actually just authenticity and like being yourself. There were times where we would walk into CAA, which is the biggest agency low-key in the world. And she would be wearing like a Bulls sweatpants, like Bulls Jordans with a Bulls cap. And I'm like, I was like, Lena, like, this is a big place. Like, we need to like, you know, look, you know, professional, whiter. We need to look, you know,
assimilate a little more.
Because I'm just feeling like we don't belong here. And she always, wherever we went, always had respect, was just always earned, given to her. She was never a quote unquote like bitch. And I learned that I didn't have to be. All I needed to do was be myself and know my shit.
Exactly.
Because no one can say anything if you know your shit. So
exactly.
It was
who's they gonna check? They can't check.
Definitely a good lesson. Lena was the one that brought me into meetings with Black producers, Black writers, Black directors, Black everything. And if you look at TV, you wouldn't think that existed. So for me to even be in that room, I said, I can't leave now. Like, I know too much.
Yeah.
I must stay.
No other choice. No other choice.
And as far as like writing and directing goes, I think that's really, really hard for me. I definitely love writing, but I love directing. I love putting it together. I love working with actors, especially comedic actors. Like, we're literally laughing like all day. So
that's lit.
That's
so
awesome.
What are your kind of some favorite things that you love about directing? Because we're writers, we don't know much about directing, but for the people who don't know much about it either, what are kind of some favorite things that you love about it, some elements?
I think it is working with actors. It's make believe. It's like getting adults to play again. It's like
inner child work.
Yes. To let go of the bullshit and play and find themselves in this character, whatever that character may be.
Okay.
That's dope.
And so I watched Finding Negro. Tell us a little bit about that. How did you kind of come up with that concept, and what was it like making that?
That came out as it was a joke. I was just joking with my friend, and I was like, what if a white person got this DNA letter and it said that most of their background was Black? Like, how would they feel about themselves? Because even now, like during the pandemic, we saw like a bunch of white people like get on board with Black Lives Matter, like out of nowhere, it felt. So
out of nowhere is the key.
Out of nowhere. So if someone really felt like they identified with the Black community, all of a sudden, what would they do? Like, how would they respond? And so I created a story about a white person who didn't feel comfortable or connected to the world that they were in, and when they discovered or thought that when they thought that they were Black, they found community, because that is the gem of being Black, is that we see each other.
That is facts.
Always.
Yeah, not always, but most of the time.
I always see.
A Black nod in an office can get you through the day, because you feel like no one can see you.
You find that one of 60 on the floor with you. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So
I always be counting Black people everywhere I go. I be like, hold on, how much of it? Okay, look at us. Yay.
I'm like, I see you for that girl.
Exactly. Exactly. I had the audition process for that was really interesting. I had 1 million white boys want that part, and I made
you don't say.
And
I know they would love it. I knew they would love it.
They loved it. And I forced them to say like racist shit to me, like to my face. And that was my test. I was like, if you can't say these lines, like I'm not taking you. And I don't even remember what I made them say, but there were so many guys that were like looking at me and looking at the script, and they were like
shaking in their boots.
Like, yeah, they couldn't do it. So the guy that I chose is Angel Saint from Heaven. Like, I love him so much. I don't write white male characters anymore. That was the last, maybe forever, the last time I'll ever have a white man be the lead of a film I'm creating. But I'm glad I went out with that one. He's like the best guy ever. His great. Name's Bo Bowker. Yeah.
That's a white name. Okay.
Shout out to you. Shout out to you, Bo.
Shout out to Bo.
Yeah, he was great. I enjoyed him. He did his thing.
He's great.
He knew the assignment. He understood, and he carried it out.
He delivered.
Well. Yeah. He did.
Quick question for you. In terms of the film festival process, what was your process to enter? How was that process for you? Like, what tips can you give folks if they want to also enter a film festival as well?
A lot of people say that you should have film festivals in mind even before you shoot. Like, because there are certain festivals that want a certain time, a certain length, a certain like look, or a certain like topic or genre. So if you can hit multiple topics and genres, you are now eligible for so many different festivals. And if you can take a look at what has won at those festivals in the current years, you can kind of get a taste of like what they're looking for and work from there. And oftentimes it's not something ridiculous. It can be really like nuanced and simple. But I will say that sometimes the festival entering process is actually really simple. If you have the money for it. I spent like at least $1,000 just submitting. And those were student rates. Some of the festivals will cost $60 to $100 each just to apply.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like when you enter your scripts and like writing competitions or whatever, because they charge too.
Yeah, they do.
Those little fees can add up too. So
keep that in mind.
Yeah, but it's an investment.
Yes.
I mean,
it's like, you know, instead of paying for the marketing for billboards, you're paying for it to be distributed and marketed at festivals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So kind of killing, a couple birds with one stone type of thing.
Yeah.
But how did it feel to get your first accolade and your accolades for your films? How did you feel in that moment?
Yes.
It was great. It was honestly amazing. Because I was showing this film in class, and my professors, it was still kind of rough. I hadn't finished it yet, and my professors were like, "Do you see that no one is laughing?
Oh, okay.
Like, do you see?" And I'm like, "Yes, I see that, and I understand that it's like a masterpiece in progress." Like, I still believed in my shit, and my class. The class that I was showing that film to, there was only one other Black kid, and he was cracking up in the back. And I just said to myself, okay, I'm writing for a Black audience. I know what I'm doing. I'm so happy that he's laughing. And if I didn't have him, I don't know. It would have been harder for me to see, you know, if it was funny or not. And that is one thing about comedy. You know it's working very early, usually. Like, you know. Drama is so much harder. I don't know how people do drama. Like,
it's you got to really unlock some stuff there.
Yeah.
Truly.
You gotta really
that's
unlock
so hard.
Yeah.
People say that comedy is really hard, but
I mean, yeah, I hear both.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you say like the funny people do drama and then the dramatic people do comedy in terms of like writing.
Yes.
So I think it's interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's interesting too. I do prefer comedy more, but yeah, I've definitely written a script, and that when you hear that silence and the no laugh, that shit, I mean, ooh, that hit my heart, child. But yeah, you have to, like, going back to what you said, still believing, and you said like, this is a masterpiece at work, right? Like, I was like,
in progress.
Another t-shirt.
Damn,
another t-shirt.
I'm like, let me write that down next time, because you have to keep that in mind, because sometimes it's not going to hit for certain audiences. And the very fact that you had the discernment to be like, oh, my man's over there is laughing, bet I know I have something here. Yes. I know what I'm doing here. You know what I mean? So I think kudos for you. And that's a big lesson in understanding like how to keep propelling your work forward despite some rejections or some milestones or that you may hit along the way, if that makes sense. So yes, I am taking
comedy
notes.
is still very much so white and male. It's just so white. It's like, oh my god. So it was very I hate that I seek validation in this way, but filmmaking is like that. Like you're trying to win awards. Like even at your best and in your prime, you're still trying to get Emmys and Oscars and approval. And it's a kind of like a popularity contest in that way. And so you're constantly trying to seek validation and still like hold some level of authenticity.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Yeah. Just about Black creators in the industry. Like you said, it is very white male. And I like to say a lot, it is good to have those accolades like Emmys and stuff, but I just feel like Black creators, we shouldn't be like hanging on to that validation from these white institutions. But it is good to be recognized. But sometimes it's like, sometimes we're just not making shit for them and they're just not going to get it. Like you were saying, like in the class. So
on that note, I'm so grateful that the Golden Globes was kind of like, got in trouble for for paying people to vote in favor of their movies, their films.
That's crazy.
Because we need to recognize that it's not just the Golden Globes that's getting paid.
That's right.
It's the Emmys and it's the Oscars. It's everything. And I hope that more and more people get caught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same. I'm with you on that. I'll have a little witch hunt,
Okay.
I have my stick out with my donuts. Like, who?
I'm a snitch. Okay. I'm a snitch, bitch, snitch, motherfucker.
Okay.
Call me into the interrogation room. I'm saying like a canary. Okay.
Period.
Who on it?
Okay. All the hands. And that's important to point out because, like you said, we want that validation. Everybody wants that validation, but a lot of people don't acknowledge the politics behind all that stuff. A lot of those times it's like they have teams that are just set to market to those specific award shows, and they know how to maneuver through the like red tape of it all and get their stuff, whether it's good or not, right? But it's not as an even playing field as has been reported. So yeah, I think that's a great point. And going back to what Cory was saying, like you can't just accept the validation just for what it is, because there's a whole other stuff behind it. It doesn't mean that your stuff isn't good. Maybe it's like, well, apparently you didn't have the right marketing team, so your wonderful ass movie isn't recognized or even put or nominated. You know what I mean? Like it's
so much that goes into it.
It's bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of politics. Yeah. Just
a lot of red tape.
Yeah. A lot of red tape. So good points there. But what advice would you give to, so obviously we talked about rejection earlier and how it is just such a big part of being in this industry. What advice would you give to people, who's like we talked about, people who will melt if they get rejected or to keep pushing through that and just kind of like you said, believing, knowing that, your work is going to hit even if no one else sees the vision right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say do things with as much intention as possible. Like really know why you're making the things that you're making, because if nobody likes it at the end of the day, you can still like it and you can say, I was able to express this part of myself that like I haven't been able to, or like I've really wanted to for a long time. And it gives, give to yourself. Don't just give to whatever you think that people want right now.
Yep.
Because it'll leave you with nothing sometimes.
Yeah.
Child. Yes. Amen.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Girl, you better give us these t-shirt quotes, girl.
Okay.
I feel the spirit with us.
Okay. The atmosphere. Okay. So with that, I mean, the future is clearly wide and bright for you, clearly. But what are some of like your future career goals that you want to accomplish?
I want to write and direct comedy. I want to write and direct, create my own show. And I want to own my own production company so that I can greenlight diverse storytellers. So I can greenlight LGBTQIA and women and people of color and everything that, I mean, I think all these companies are trying to move forward with diversity, like inclusion kind of programs, but you really need to start from the ground up, I feel, to make it like really an impact. One thing that I'm really grateful that I've done, that I worked for Macro, which is run by Charles and Stacey King.
Yes.
They were just at the Oscars for Judas and the Black Messiah, and it was so wonderful to see people that I worked for, Black people that I worked for at the Oscars this year. Like, it was very rewarding to see that. So their initiative, and it says it like on their manifesto, is to make things about people of color. So to have that on the manifesto is everything. I would like to do something very similar with my own company. And I was telling one of my best friends my dreams, and he was like, all right, I was like, I want to write and direct comedy. He said, bet, you can do that tomorrow. I said, okay, well, I want to have my own production company. He said, done, you can do that tomorrow. He's like, what do you really want to do? I said, I want to win like an Oscar before my grandma dies.
Now that is specific. Yeah.
I want to win an Emmy like before she passes, because she's my everything. Yeah.
That is beautiful.
Yes.
Touch my heart.
Ashe and amen, honey. Ashe and amen.
Yeah, sometimes the manifestations, well, all the time you gotta be specific. So it's like, I want to do this, but what specifically do you want to do? You gotta specifically put it out in the universe, so the universe can be like, okay, bet. Got it. Working on that. So now he's working. He's working.
Okay.
But any projects you want to plug that you're working on right now?
Yeah.
Go ahead. You have the floor.
I am about to create my own comedy stand-up show, like a live show. I'm going to host it, and I'm going to have maybe 5 or 6 comics, and I'd love to have at least one little celebrity comic be with us as well. So I actually was on the phone with an event planner today, and we're gearing towards having a show in September and October.
Wow. Okay.
Nice.
Judith and I are there.
Yeah.
You there, girl?
Stay tuned.
We're going to stay tuned. We are so excited.
Yes, that's exciting. Congrats.
Thank
that's
you
a big
so
deal.
much. Thank you so much.
Because, it's not only are you putting together, a show of content, but you're having to actually organize an event, which is hard work. I mean, I've had to do that stuff too. So that's a big deal. Congrats.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you.
We love to see it. We love to see
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
I'm coming. We're coming.
Please.
Yeah, girl, I'm coming. And just know I'm coming dressed to nice, girl. I'm letting them know.
Okay.
Of course.
I'm my Cookie Lions fur coat on in California burning up.
They're going to think she's the celebrity.
Oh, yeah. This one? Yeah, for sure. Okay. Well, do you have any more questions, Judith, before we?
No,
Okay.
I think it was all covered. The spirit was brought in. We have number gems, mad affirmations. Yes, laughing. It was pretty perfect, I will say.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Alysha, for coming through. This was a great interview, and I'm sure you will definitely inspire some listeners. Somebody's going to be inspired by what you said here today, because you gave us some gems, girl.
I am inspired. What y'all are doing is amazing. I was so happy when you reached out to me, and I was like, definitely, like, I will do this. Please continue to grow, and I would love to, share this work that you're doing, and hopefully you can get some more people in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. We appreciate it. We do it just for people like us, who just want to have their work out there and want to see other people like them doing it too, because that's why we started this. Is we saw nobody looked like us doing podcasts like this. I used to listen to podcasts at work when I was teaching myself screenwriting, and it was all Bill and Bob and fucking John and Jim. I'm like, I don't want to listen to them. You know, like I want to listen to somebody like me. I want to listen to somebody like Judith. So that's what we do it for. So I'm just excited that, you know, we're all here and we can share our experiences and inspire the next generation. So that's what it's all about.
I feel seen. I feel seen. I feel heard.
Yes. And that's what it's all about. Yay. Well, thank you.
Real quick. Where would you like people to find you and reach out to you and support you? Also, y'all, if y'all get a chance, y'all need to see her pictures, honey.
Girl, we're gonna post it. We're gonna post it. They're gonna see. Somebody gonna see that thing. Cause she was
Yes. All my work is on my website. It's at amenakaya.com. That's amen, AKAYA.com. And check me out.
Yeah, we're going to put that in the description for the episode as well. So check her out, guys. She's dope.
Yes.
She's so going dope. Places. She's already places, but she's going even more places, child. So
I'm a child. Amen.
And I'll say.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much. This was great. This was great.
Yes.
All right.
And I mean, what an amazing interview we had with Alysha. Like, truly a talent. Like, like I cannot go support. Like she said, she has her comedy show that's coming out. If you in LA, we're definitely gonna plug it to make sure you guys know the dates. We can go and support her so that she continues like all the wisdom that she gave to us. Amazing. And because of that, we are going into our Niggas You Should Know segment. And the only nigga you need to know from this episode is Alysha Menakaya. Yes.
No printer.
I mean, if you were not listening, she graduated from USC MFA program in film and TV production, honey, okay? She did a writing and directing focus, honed in on comedy, okay? As we said already, she's from Manchester, New Hampshire. She grew up there, but you know what? She definitely started to identify with herself and understand who she is in her biracial story, in her queerness, in the filmmaking world, and usually connecting with that story and making sure to express and share that openly on USC's campus, okay? And honey, she said she knew who she was, okay? When she got that criticism, she was like, "Oh, this is a working masterpiece, honey. You don't understand, okay?" And she did it with such like confidence and just calm in herself. It wasn't a big to do. She knew who she was. When she told the story about how she shared that film and the one Black dude in her class started laughing, she knew she was onto something. Sweetie, that's the kind of confidence you need to have in yourself, knowing that what you're creating is good, and it is good to be not only distributed, but it is good to be recognized and to be made, period, point blank.
Facts.
Listen, she already went through her resume. She worked with Lena Waithe. She worked at Amazon Studios, HBO, Macro, Film Independent, all of those things she used to help to get to the place where she is writing her own stuff. She is directing her own stuff. I mean, her
racking up accolades.
Come on. First place at the Oki Comedy Film Festival in 2018 was her short film, Finding Negro, and the Audience Award for Best Short Film at the American Black Film Festival Comedy Festival in 2021 for Club Beige. She's on her way. This is just the beginning. And we're all, like we said, we're going to support her in the comedy shows that she has. And no doubt, in all the affirmations she told us, she's going to be directing her own show. She's going to be writing her own show. We are going to be watching her show, okay? And so I cannot wait for the great things that will happen for her. She's so much fun to have in the studio, even though, you know, some of us were farther and some of us were nearer. She was great to have. And you guys really, really, really need to know that she is the nigga you should know. Check out her work. She already plugged it already, but I'm going to say www.amenakaya.com. That's amenakaya.com. And check out all her stuff. Amazing photos. And she definitely got next for sure. Like me and Cory could just sense it in the room. She got next. Check her out, support her. She's amazing. And yeah, that is our Niggas You Should Know segment.
All right. And yeah, Judith killed that. Thank you so much for, reminding us of how amazing our guest today was, Miss Alysha Menakaya.
Yes.
And that's our show. We are going to be hopefully having guests until August, guys. So get ready to hear more stories from other Black, I think all of our guests are Black. Yeah, I usually say Black and brown, but all of our guests are Black. The ones coming on are Black. So other Black creatives who are not just writers, but also directors, producers. Some of them have their own production companies. Some of them have credits on credits on credits. So you may even know some of them. So just get ready for our next couple guests that we have coming on. We're super excited to be talking to more people. Thank you so much for Alysha for coming on today and blessing us with the gems and the knowledge. I already told her when she was here, but just want to thank her again when she listens back. Thank you, girl.
Yay.
We love to see it. And like Judith said, we are going to be plugging anything that you do. And we are so excited for your super bright future and your super bright present. So, blessings all around. And look out for more guests that we're going to have coming on. Hopefully, you know, this episode inspires. I'm sure this episode will inspire somebody out there 100%. To keep it going and to keep it moving and to put their work out there. So that is what we do it for. But anyways, that is episode 84. Oh my God. Continue to like, subscribe, comment, do all the things that you can possibly do to support the show. Grab some merch. And
grab all of it, honey.
Yes. And we are gonna, we're getting back to the YouTube, so putting episodes on YouTube, so look out for that. Stay Black and beautiful, y'all, because look, we need it out here in these streets. Okay.
Period.
And that is on who and what? That is on Mary Helen motherfucking Little Lamb Beach. So that's E. All right, I got to go now. Bye.
Bye, y'all. See y'all next week.